Okay, so it looks like we're doing a part 2. We saw the 4 principles of healing in action, right? When we saw the first person being healed was the blind man, right? So we first asked permission, would you be healed? And the second part is working within that person's belief system. That's where Jesus is making the salve. The man understands some sort of ointment, put on the eye. Told to go say a word 7 times, and then, or go to say the word of power and then wash 7 times. So that ritual established, requires the conscious, active participation of the person being healed, right? He has to go and he gets the salve put on him, yes, like that's part of it, but he has to go and say the word, like express, the vessel that he wants to receive his healing in. And wash, which is to clear away the detritus and debris of the faulty thought or the judgments or, those negative effects of our karma. So, right. And then it's sealed with gratitude, right? Because he expresses that after he's been healed, and that his gratitude is expressed in his willingness to be honest about how he was healed when he gets when he meets the people and then later has to talk to the Pharisees. He stays in his truth and says he was blind from birth, but now he sees, and this man healed him. And he even repeats not just that, but he goes and he tells this, like, what he actually was supposed to do in terms of he put the salve on me. I had to say a word, and you say the word and then wash 7 times. Like, he mentions the whole process more than once. Yeah, so willing, like, he's definitely owning it every time he's telling the story. Unlike his parents, who, right, we're definitively told that they believe that the man who healed their son is the Christ, but when asked, they aren't willing to say. Right? They say, "Ask our son; he's old enough; he can tell you." So yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about this one. The 4 principles of energy. So when Jesus asked, would you be healed? And he says yes, Job says yes. That is him entraining to the higher power, right? The synchronicity of the event, that Job would normally be out on the streets begging, but today he's sitting by the gate. The synchronicity of Jesus coming by and asking, would you be healed, right? So things falling into alignment. Resonance is, you see resonance in the fact that Job follows the direction, right? So Jesus establishes the wavelength and tells him what needs to be done, and Job matches that by going to do it, right? And then synergy of the healing complete, because he's done it, they're able to meet, and that synergy is now complete. So entrainment, synchronicity, resonance, and synergy as the 4 principles of energy. And I love this, of course. All men are sons of God by birth, but not all are sons of God by faith. Who are the chosen ones? The ones who choose to be chosen. So Jesus comes as the Son of Men to give us the pattern, as the Son of God to give us the pattern, to give the pattern to the sons of men, and we that choose to follow that pattern then become sons and daughters of God by faith. So there is that one little idiom there that somebody might have caught. Ooh, he's talking about Satan. What are they saying about Satan? Because Satan comes up everywhere. Satan, it's just an idiom. It's something. Something fell from the sky. It's like to fall from, to fall in reputation, or to lose your reputation, or to lose your power, right? It was an idiom. but yes, it's been turned into other things, but no, that's what it is from the Aramaic. Oh yes, now that I have the strength to stand alone. 140:22. But I know we missed a lot in between because at what point, yeah, what did we, from one, well, I don't need to recap all of it for you. You did hear me read it, and you all have your own thoughts. Oh, okay, there's this one thing, and you might see this in in another video, so I'll mention it here. I lay down my life when I will, but I may take it up again. For every son of God by faith has the power to lay his mortal flesh aside and take it up again. These words I have received from God. I have received from God. In the life and teachings of the masters of the Far East, we meet two masters, Emil and Jast, who demonstrate this. And I know that when I first read the Aquarian, and this is probably, my second, third read, I had noticed that before. And I've been lately reading more on the life and teachings, and that stuck out to me because, excuse me, because I know it's in there. And those for you who will read life and teachings, and maybe we'll read that together next. There's conversations that reference this, so it's interesting. We'll come back to that as we read that. That'll be next for us. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I wanted to bring that up. What else? Oh, when the 70 come back, that blessing, did you hear what he said? Not only does God say, well done, when we take up the mantle of ourselves, because when we heal ourselves, and interact, we are healing others. When we're being our best selves, and being our light, we are as the sons of God, sharing that light. So it was just so beautiful. So the heavens were bright with light, the earth was bright, and it seemed to meet and be at one. The earth and the heavens seemed to be so bright and be as one. And I beheld, and you were protected from everything. Nothing was going to harm you. He tells them that, don't be happy and excited and rejoice because, you were able to perform these miracles and heal the sick and heal the lame and all of those things that they did. But rejoice that you have brought the word of God to those who have ears to hear. So there's a greater work and purpose there. You may rejoice because the nations of the earth have ears to hear the word, eyes to see the glory of the Lord, and hearts to feel the inner breathing of the holy breath. 140:12. So now getting to 22, and okay. This was the part that, I think he's told them before, and I may have mentioned it, but the energy and timbre of this time, him telling them, he keeps telling them again and again, but they just don't get it, right? They don't hear it. They don't quite, well, how could they possibly fathom, right? It just doesn't. So he tells them again of what is coming. And Jesus said again, lo, I have gone before you many moons, and I have given you the bread of heaven and the cup of life, have been your buckler and your stay. But now that you have learned the way and have the strength to stand alone, behold, I lay my body down and go to him who is the all. In 40 days, when we will In 40 days, then we will turn our faces toward Jerusalem, where I will find the altar of the Lord and give my life in willing sacrifice for men. So, yeah. Just signaling that this is the end of his teaching them, in that specific and obvious way. And it will be like we're about to turn our focus towards Jerusalem. We're turning our focus to something, not teaching and healing and being with the multitudes. We're turning to something else that's coming. The parable of the feast. Oh, I love the parable of the feast, but it's a hard one to hear because what he's telling you basically is that everyone gets called into the Father, At first it was those he thought were closest, and they all gave, what were plausible excuses based on, the culture and the time. So like if he's teaching this parable to a crowd and he's giving those reasons as excuses, those excuses as reasons, the people in the crowd would have been like, yeah, but that's legitimate. Like that's really, but he's like, no, there's something bigger and greater here. There's a greater purpose. And so those people, they didn't come. So then, the poor get invited. But there was still room. So the army or, the servants and then the angels were sent to gather more people. So we are all being called in. So there we have it. Yeah, and that was through I think that was it on Yeah, that was it. That was the last one. Yeah, they were brought by force. There is no avoiding coming into awareness with God. It will happen for all at some point in your life or other. Yeah. So there we have it. It's quite a bit. But you're going to see our story is picking up pace. And actually there's, not much is left. So yeah, we'll be finishing it soon. I'm making no promises on the date, but I would say probably by the new year. Yeah, it's 4 to 5 weeks from now. So yeah, that's probably likely the timing. Anyway, I love you so much, and I will love you in the meantime until I see you again.